Well, hello there, all you amazing nerds out there. This is Kent's thoughts, or giving some opinions and throwing them out there. And I'm throwing my good old friend Christian under the bus, but not throwing him under the bus. I'm using him as an example because this is a frustration that a lot of knowledgeable tech people have with non-knowledgeable tech people. This whole thing here. I don't get why so many people have concerns about telemetry. It's unpersonalized, often anonymized data that is collected to fix issues, security vulnerabilities, and improve software. Personal data collection and selling data is something entirely different. If I wasn't a fat fuck, I would be running around dancing right now and sending him balloons with chocolate and sodas because he's a German that don't drink beer. That's a fucking nickname of itself, to be honest. But he's right. There is a massive difference. And I see a lot of people not understanding that. They think every data collected is bad. So first of all, you know how to get companies to stop taking telemetry? Submit bug reports. Go help them out with problem. I remember a time when we didn't have much telemetry, where the only way developers figured out there was a problem was if they tested it themselves and found it, or if a user came and said to them, there's a problem. The issue here is that they cannot sit and test the software 24/7. There's no amount of manpower in the world that can test every situation in a piece of software. No matter how small is a calculator, there is no amount of time justifiable or manpower justifiable to sit and make sure that every scenario that you can possibly think of is being tested for. You can test for the most generalized stuff. And that's what people do, or they automate it, and so on and so on. And because users are so fucking bad at giving feedback back to software developers, they came up with this smart idea. Well, if we know what's going on, or you send us a crash report when things go tits up, we can fix them for you really fast and really easy, especially with nowadays when we have the internet and all of that amazing technologies. They can fix it from a day to day, and they can put in a hotfix into your program or your game or what you will call it. Bob's your uncle, it's fixed. Where back in the day, you have to have a user actually figure out the problem, send it in, make it, and then basically release a patch CD, a DVD, or something in that nature. But that don't take away from the whole telemetry stuff, because we're not going to talk about personal data collection and selling personal data. I think everyone would agree that's not that good of a situation to be in. It's not something any of us want to have to be done to us, that they take our personal data and said. I think everyone can categorically agree that's bad. Telemetry, on the other hand, has been around ever since there has been trading. Ever since there's been anything going on between two human beings. When you go shopping, they are taking anonymous, unpersonalized data, and you're like, well, they are not. Like, I'm not signing up for anything and stuff like that. No, but you are part of their customer base. So you are part of their decisions to, well, say, how many toilet papers do we have to stock up each month? How many cans of tuna is being sold? At Halloween, how much Halloween costume versus Halloween candy should we have? And so on and so on and so on. You are part of that data set. You are getting telemetry taken. You have a car? Text telemetry. I remember back in 2000 when I was a mechanic. On the high-end cars back then, we could plop a fucking onboard diagnostic system on it. We could see how long you've been running with too low level of oil in them, how long you drive on average, your average speed, and I could go on and on and on. To gauge if you needed, a better service plan or come in more often to services and so on and so on. Your good old credit card, I don't mind laying around. Every time you use any debit, credit card, any card whatsoever, you are taking telemetry off. My gym membership card. I could go on to my local gym that I work out at, and I can see when I signed in with my card. That's telemetry. Everything you do in life is being analyzed to some degree. People are taking telemetry from you. Unpersonalized, anonymous telemetry. The world could not function without data about human beings. Traffic stops. How many people? When is the congestion times? When is people basically blocking up this traffic light or this roundabout? If you are one that are frequently using that traffic light or roundabout, you are being taken telemetry off. Everything we do in life is being analyzed, looked at, and used as data. We cannot come out of it. And like I said, the oldest form of it is probably, bartering, selling goods, this is a piece of paper. Imagine this was like a piece of fabric. I made this, I'm selling it to you, and the more people that are buying this piece of fabric is telling me that, I need to produce more in, let's say, in the summertime versus the wintertime. That's telemetry data collection. It's just not digital telemetry and data collection. It's still stuff I have here. I can write it down on a piece of paper or chisel it into a rock or something like that. But you are still part of this data set. That's not so much the problem that I have with people. The problem I have with people that bitch and moan about data collection and stuff like that and telemetry are sitting on their fucking ass doing it on YouTube, Google, donating to the fucking Twitch thoughts. I don't know if I can say that, but I'm doing it anyway. They are signing up for porn site. They're doing online shopping, online ordering food. They are using their credit cards, the social security number all over the fucking place. And no matter how many VPNs you use, they are not making you secure. It's a massive fucking bullshit that people saying that, if I use a VPN, they don't take data from you. Yes, they do. Okay? It's just your physical IP address that can be in another country. But your buying habits, the way you act online it can tell you more about who you are than knowing your IP address. I'm a Danish guy living in a certain area of Denmark. I have specific habits, online and offline, that is indicative to where I live. So if you want to know where I live, look at my online habit. It could be as simple as what news site am I looking at. So if you are in Germany, Berlin, but you're looking a lot at Seattle newspapers, you're checking into, you're ordering food from Seattle fucking, I don't know, Domino's and shit like that. A really rational, logical person say you are living in Seattle. If a lot of things that you're doing has to do with the Seattle-Washington area, even though your IP address say you are in fucking Afghanistan, either you are a deployed soldier keeping up with your family, or you probably live in Seattle, Washington. You get what I'm coming at here. But yeah, they are sitting on their high horse like, I am using Linux because it's taking no telemetry, and then I can go on to their fucking YouTube account and I can see, this is a socket account. They probably have used the iteration of that username somewhere else. Or they are stupid enough to have their email address publicly shown, or any other social media present. If you just Google their fucking the screen name, they probably use some of it or some like it in another way. If you only knew how easy it is to fucking figure out information about people online, you would go nuts. And I do that a lot with these telemetry people, just to draw in a point. I'm like, okay, you're so into being private on the internet. Let me see how easy I can figure shit out about. And it's fucking easy. Because people are not smart people. They are not smart people. They think that if they use a VPN, I and other people can't figure out who the fuck they are. If they use a socket account, we cannot figure out who they are. It's actually really easy. It really is easy. I have seen people coming into my and other people's channel with other channels because they got blocked. And just from the way that they fucking comment, you can see that it's the same person. I've seen people coming into Discords under socket accounts to pretend they were someone else, where everyone is like, I think this is this dude or this girl coming back under a socket account. And lo and behold, five fucking minutes later, we figure out it's true. Because people cannot stop being who they are. If you are so privacy focused, it don't matter if you say I'm not using Windows or I'm not using Mac. Heck, if you take Google Android, it don't matter. YouTube alone knows way more about you than any operating system does. You more than likely have your credit card. If you're a YouTuber, you have your credit card bank accounts. If you're getting AdSense off it, you have payment associated with YouTube that can be tracked down to you as a person. And that's really fucking easy to figure out. If you are doing any shopping online, they already have way more telemetry than any operating system is taking, and personalized information. If you are signing up from any site, they have way more telemetry about you than any operating system has. The only way to be private on the internet is not using the internet. This whole privacy telemetry debate, we lost it. I remember, I grew up in the internet. We had the internet bubble, in the 90s. And back then there was a lot of people, and Richard Stallman was one of them. Let's give him credit where credit is due. that was saying, like, we need to fucking be careful because when we give them a little finger, they eat the whole body. People are like, no, they're not going to do anything bad. They're not going to probe us up the ass, and they're not going to take a lot of data. They're only doing what's necessary because it was interesting, it was new. We loved that we could do all of these fucking crazy things on the internet. Then the bubble bursted and people stopped using it for a while. Or not stopped using it, but people didn't really do much with the internet other than fucking finding porn and stuff like that. And then we got the we got the internet kind of 2.0 kind of thing. You know, the whole media aspect of I keep saying Windows, of the internet. YouTube was part of the 2.0, Web 2.0 revolution. It was basically media and stuff like that. 3.0 is cryptocurrency and what have you not, NFTs and whatnot. But with all of that came a lot of fucking telemetry. That was kind of when telemetry became like the thing to do. To run a site like YouTube, you need a user account, you know. To run dating, like I remember like in the early 2000s, dating sites was like the fucking thing. Like today we use Grindr and Tinder and Grindr, what the fuck it's called. Back then it was dating sites. It was like the big thing to do to get, you know, hookups and stuff like that. And you had to have a lot of information in there. That, you know, MySpace and different social media sites, you had a lot of information on there. It was kind of where it all began, and everyone was like, stop doing it, stop signing up for Facebook and MySpace and dating sites and stuff like that, because they are taking data from you, both anonymous, unpersonalized, and also personalized data, and selling it. Don't use Google. Google is living off your data, but everyone loved Google because it was free and it was really fucking good. It was the best search engine at its when it was in its prime time. It was blowing out Alta Vista and all that fucking shit, and everyone just ignored what Google did with your data. And that is why we can't do anything with it today. Here's the thing, and this is universal truth in life. When you give someone something, a company, a political party, the state, call it what you will. If you give them just a little amount of power, it has almost never been giving back to us, the people, unless we have a revolution, a bloody revolution. That's the only time where people got their power back. So, you know, talking Saddam Hussein, they gave him a little bit of power. He kept it until he got, you know what happened to him. But had that not happened to him, he would still be in power. We are giving, like, if you're living in the States with the Patriot Act, that everyone was so happy to sign in the aftermath of 2001. There is a lot of anti-fucking privacy in there, and it's over 20 years ago, and they were like, this is a temporary bill, this is a temporary fucking thing. It's lasted for 22 years now. We have the same issues here in Denmark. Every country have the same issues. When we give people in power, both political power and in companies' power, that power will only get back to us if the company ceases to exist or the government gets overthrown. You get a little bit back sometimes, but you still don't get all of it back. That is why we have a problem today, and it can't be fixed. For all of this telemetry and all of the things that we are angry about that people are taking from us, telemetry will never go away, because like I said, you have digital telemetry and you have analog telemetry, you know, human-to-human telemetry, you know, previous statements about shopping and stuff like that. That will never go away. Because then shopping companies and shopping malls and, you know, eBay sellers and whatever, they cannot exist because, well, I cannot use data that I'm taking from my customers. So they will overstock, understock, go out of business. Digital data, unpersonalized, anonymized data collection, we will never get it back. Never. And you cannot be anonymous on the internet. There's always a way of finding. Why the fuck do you think all of the big hacks that have been happening in the world, all the hackers got found eventually? It may take some time, but they got all found out who they are. Because you cannot hide on the internet. You are being fucking surveilled all over the place. Unless you're living in a farm out in the fucking skids, you know, out on hillbilly country, you may not getting fucking surveilled. But the second you go into a city, there's eyes on you. Why are you not bitching and moaning about that? I will say I don't mind Microsoft or my photo editing software, you know, taking crash reports from my computer if things go tits up. I kind of don't like that the second I go out of my door and I go into my town, there's fucking, I'm about to say webcams, but there's CCTV cameras all over the place, and they know almost what the fuck I'm doing. Try going around in New York, in in the suburbs of New York, even in the fucking small countryside cities in the States. Try to go to the UK. You cannot take a fucking public pee without getting fucking zoomed in on your small testicles. That, to me, is a way bigger issue than Windows be like, oh, we see you're using an X system. Yeah, we cannot push this update to you because if you do that with this software that you have, you will get a bad experience, which Linux should really learn from, to be honest. Or, oh, we see that you're using this program a lot. Maybe we should preload this program into RAM for you in the future so it don't take that long to open up. That's also data collection telemetry. I think the government surveilling us outside of the internet, and also, of course, on the internet, but outside of the internet is probably a little bit more issue, because what they're doing on the internet I can really easily protect myself against. Plop. I can just unplug the fucking stick from the internet or lock down my router, close it off. It's really easy to be anonymous on the internet. Don't use the internet. It's not easy to be anonymous in the real world because you cannot unplug yourself from the real world. That would be a really bad thing to do, okay? Like, that would be really unbeneficial for you and for your family. But all of this here, I can just close down my computer and not use it anymore. And I can go out in the woods and I can chop wood all day and get really buffed and slim because I'm a fat fuck. Maybe I should do that. But at least I'm not getting tracked and stuff like that by digital telemetry and online media. If you are having a mobile phone, if you're having anything connected to the internet, you will always be taking data from. You can never undo that because we already lost that fight. We lost it in the 90s and in the early 2000s when we could have put in laws against it. EU has the data protection laws. They're putting in the TPDD or what the fuck it's called and stuff like that. But all what that does is that companies is by law required to give you information about what they have on you. Not that they should not do it. They just have to be. If you say to them, I want to know everything that you've stored about me, this here it is. That's the only thing it does. And then it restricts what they can, like they have to be just, again, I'm really paraphrasing here. The data that they are taking they can only take the data if they can justify it in court. So meaning there should be a court-approved justification for why they're taking the data. So if they get dragged into court, they can legally say, well, legally, we are required to take this data. So it's protecting you a little bit, but you're still being taking telemetry off. And that's just the internet. Like I said, in the real world, there are way more telemetry and data being gathered about you in the real world than there is on the internet. That's the scary fucking part. And I really feel that people that sit and bitch and moan about telemetry and data collection on the internet, where it's as simple as just not using it if you don't like it. I know a lot of society is happening online, but hey, you can still live without using the internet. There's people doing it. I've done it for millennia. Like we have lived without the internet most of human race's existence. You can still do it to this day. It's still manageable. But then there is like the offline telemetry, the human-to-human telemetry, the analog telemetry, call it what you will. And that is stuff that I am gathering when I'm reading my comment section. That is stored up here. That's data that you gather when you're walking down to your local mall. And you're like, okay, should I go into that shop, or that shop? All of those decisions is based on you taking data and telemetry from these shops. Which one is the one you like the most, have most of the things you like the price point of, or you like the hot little fucking cashier that's sitting there. All of that is telemetry. It's data collection. It's just stored up in your noggin up here. Everything we do in life is based around telemetry and data collection. Everything. We are taking in data, we are analyzing it, and then we are reacting on it. If you want to know if a girl is hot on you or a guy is, you look at their behavior. That's data collection, that's telemetry. It's just human telemetry, human data collection. And yes, that can be tracked back to them later on in life. Where they live, who they are. As simple, hey, where do you work? That's a data collected question. I'm now gathering data about you. And even if you say, oh, I don't want to tell you, I can ask your friends, people around you. I can go into a shop. Oh, I see this guy or girl here is coming here often. Do you know where they work? That's how police work works. Ask questions. That's telemetry. That's data collect. So get off your fucking high horse, okay? Stop being a hypocritical motherfucker that is going after people like him and me and everyone else that are talking about technology. And then on top of it is think that every fucking telemetry and data collection is the same as personal data collection and selling data. If you want to debate this subject, understand this subject. Go and read up about it. and learn about society, learn about business models, learn about how shops are being run, because they are basically run off telemetry and data collection. Understand how your credit card work, your car work. 9 out of 10 people that want to play smart about this subject has no fucking clue what they're talking about. And it's making me really angry that they're sitting on their high horse and judging everyone else that do know what they're talking about, that have spent hours researching this subject, that are working professionally with this subject. His job is in security. He kind of has to know about data collection and telemetry and stuff like that. It's part of security. So yeah, if you want to go head to head with this fucking chap up here, do your homework. And you don't do that by listening to your favorite content creator. Go read up what the government is saying. Go read up what your local state is saying. Go read up about what is actually telemetry and data collection, how it has been used in the future, or are going to be used in the future, in the past, and way before we had the internet and stuff like that. Because like I said, data collection is not just digital data. It's also analog data or human data. See you all later. Bye bye.